it's storytelling time. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, everyone. It's storytelling time. Welcome to Tell Me a Story with Librarian Jeanne. That's me, Librarian Jeanne from the Santa Cruz Public Libraries. Now today, I thought I would tell you some dragon stories. Dragon stories are a mixture of myth and fairy tales and tall tales. What do you know about dragons? I have a couple friends here, dragon friends. Let's see. This one, ooh, look at him. Are they scary? This guy could be a little bit scary. He's got very big teeth and sharp horns. I don't know, but look at those eyes. Not too scary. 'Cause dragons are often shy and they're protective of their treasure, 'cause we do associate treasure with dragons. Now, sometimes they fly. This guy doesn't seem to have wings, and neither do these two other dragon friends I have. This one is Flambeau, and this one is Flambelle. They don't have wings either, and neither of them look particularly scary, do they? But they also are known for breathing fire. So one of my favorite stories, one of my favorite dragon stories, has to do with that fire breathing. Maybe it's not really fire, but it's very, very warm breath. And this story has to do with how we got heating for all of our houses. Long, long, long time ago, a little boy lived with his family in a place where they really had seasons. And as the autumn and the fall went on into winter, it got really cold. Cold, cold winters. So his family and all the families in his village migrated south every year. When it started to get cold, they moved up everything and moved it south. And he had been told that it was because it was a really cold winter. Well, he'd never been there all winter because he always moved south with his family. So one year he got really tired of this moving. He said, I'm not gonna go. So when everybody else in his family and everybody else in the village all packed up, he hid and they couldn't find him. And it was getting later and later in the year and colder and colder. So they decided, well, he must be lost. We'll just go without him. And so they did. And when everybody was gone, he came out and he was in his house. And, it was okay. And he got his food and he played his games. And then, gradually it did start getting really cold. And eventually it was so cold that it was almost too cold to go outside. And at that point, there was a knock at his door. Knock, knock, knock. And he opened the door and there was a little dragon like this guy. And the little dragon was pretty reluctant to knock on his door because he was shy. But you know what? This little boy's house was where he stayed every winter when it got cold. He came in, he moved in. And then before the families got back in the spring, he moved out again. So when the little boy opened the door and he saw a dragon there, he said, oh my goodness, they were right. They told me that it got really cold, and it did. They told me there were dragons, and there are. There's a dragon at my door. What am I gonna do? But this dragon didn't look too ferocious. He also looked a little shy. So they talked, and the dragon explained to him that this was where he lived during the winter. So little boy said, well, okay, you can come in. We'll get through this winter together. And so they did. They sort of lived in separate parts of the houses. And one morning, it looked really, really cold outside. When the little boy woke up, he wasn't cold, but it looked so cold outside. The wind was blowing and there was snow on the ground, but he wasn't cold inside. And he wondered how this happened. And he went down to where the dragon was sleeping. The dragon actually was snoring. But when he breathed out warm air, very warm air. And he snored a little more. And he breathed out more warm air. And the little boy thought, well, this is a pretty cool thing. I really like this. This way we can stay warm together. So he didn't wake up the dragon because he wasn't quite sure yet. But when the dragon woke up, he asked him, the little boy asked him, he said, you know, when you snore and breathe, it gets warm in here. And the dragon said, well, of course, that's how I stayed warm all winter long. So they agreed that this was the way that they were gonna get through the winter. And they did. And they ate and they played and they talked, and the dragon breathed out his warm air and kept the house warm. And so they finally, then it started, you know, as winters do, they pass, and it started to get to be spring, and the weather got warm, and the, you know, flowers grew and the leaves were on the trees, and it was very nice. And the little boy thought, oh my goodness, my family's going to be back. What are they going to say? And the dragon was thinking the same thing. He said, I've got to get out of here. I don't want them to know that I'm here. So they agreed that that was probably the best thing to do. And the dragon left, but they knew they would keep in touch. And the dragon left, and the little boy cleared up all the mess that there might have been left from a dragon, and also from his mess from living in the house all winter. And about the next day, the family started returning. And his family was so surprised. There he was. He'd made it through the winter. And he was okay. He'd even grown a little bit that winter. And they were hugs and kisses all around. And every time they got together, and the families started their routine lives, and they started their planting for the spring, and everything was. And finally, his parents said, well, now, how did this happen? And he said, well, you told me it was cold in the winter. You were right. It was very cold. You also told me there were dragons and I was supposed to be scared of them. But that's how I lasted through the winter. I met a dragon and he was friendly, and he usually stays in this house all winter. And when he breathes, he warms the whole house. And the family was amazed and so happy. First of all, that their little boy was still with them and safe and healthy. But second of all, that he'd made a friend of a dragon, and that maybe the dragon could take care of them. So the next year, when it came time for everybody to go south, this family decided, you know, we're going to stay this winter and see how it goes. They didn't tell anybody about the dragon, but they stayed all winter, and the dragon came and he lived with them, and he warmed up the house all winter long, and they were very happy. And then next spring, you know, everybody came back, and their neighbors were so happy and healthy, and their house was nice and cozy, and they said, how did you do it? Well, finally, the secret was out. They said, well, we have a dragon. And they were like, a dragon? Ah, aren't you afraid? No, he takes care of us, and he keeps us warm during the winter. So then, gradually, all the families in that town wanted a dragon of their own. And so they did. They got dragons, and that's the beginning of central heating. Do you believe that? That's the tall tale part of it. So, but another part of dragon stories is, have you ever walked down the street in a big city, maybe not in a place like Santa Cruz or Scotts Valley or Watsonville, but a big city, maybe up in San Francisco. You walk down the street and you see steam coming up out of the vents in the sidewalk and in the middle of the street. Have you ever wondered what that is? Well, let me tell you. There are dragons living down there under the street, keeping the city warm. They breathe all year long, so you can see it even in the summer, but especially in the winter. You could see it when it's cold outside, and the difference in the temperature between the outside air and the inside air. That's dragon breath coming up out of the drains and out of the vents. So I think you should look for that. And next time you're in a city and you see that dragon breath coming out, why don't you shout, "Dragon, come out!" Do you think they will? I bet you'll get to see a dragon that way. That'd be really fun. That's the end of our dragon stories. So let's sing our goodnight song. Good night, friends. Good night, friends. Good night, everyone. I'm going to leave you now. Merrily we roll along, roll along, roll along. Merrily we roll along. It's time to go to bed. Farewell, friends. Farewell, friends. Farewell, everyone, I'm going to leave you now. Merrily we roll along, roll along, roll along. Merrily we roll along. It's time to go to bed. Sweet dreams, everyone. Sweet dreams, everyone. Sweet dreams, everyone, I'm going to leave you now. Merrily we roll along, roll along, roll along. Merrily we roll along. It's time to go to bed. Good night, everyone. Don't forget, go to www.santacruzpl.org for more information about our great virtual programs and our books that you can look for, request, and programs that are happening. It's still time, not too late, to sign up for summer reading. You can sign up there and imagine your story and tell your story. It'll be so much fun to tell stories to your friends and have them tell stories to you. Good night. Sleep tight.